I answered a couple of them. You know, I told them why I was there. I told them I'm filming their kind of facility to make sure they're doing their jobs and not taking hour and a half breaks. You know, they're funded by the taxpayer, so that's what I'm doing. They were like, well, we got a call that you were up by the Army base with a weapon, and also that you were out here filming with, you know, you're holding a rifle and you're filming. And of course, I was like, okay, and is that against the law? And they couldn't answer that. And then when I was sitting there initially standing there with the field officer, you saw how they all came out with their semi-automatics, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, well, am I free to go? And she goes, did I say you weren't? I'm like, no, but you got, you know, 3 guys out here with semi-automatic weapons. You're unsnapped. That guy over there is unsnapped. You got 6 police cars here. I don't think it would be unreasonable for me to ask if I can leave. And she was like, I didn't say you were detained. I'm like, all right, so that's when I walked off. And as I'm walking off, I figured, you know what, I'm going to continue the test and cross the street. Now, there was only a sidewalk on one side. There are no crosswalks within 3 miles, probably 3 miles of that place.
Correct.
And so, and I told them, and now I asked for a supervisor, and they said, well, one's on the way. And I said, all right, well, I'm going to take off. And they're like, well, you can't take off if you're waiting for a supervisor. And I said, you tell the supervisor to come down here and talk to me. I'm getting away from you guys. I don't feel comfortable. So that's when I turned around and walked off. Well, there's no sidewalk on my side. And frankly, you can't continue all the way down without crossing the road once you get down to the creek. And what I intended to do, at least what I told them I intended to do, was just continue walking and just walk all the way down to the highway or whatever and just get out of there until I didn't see any police anymore. Then I called the department and asked to speak to the supervisor. So anyway, so I decided to cross the street over to the sidewalk, and that's when they were like, hey, come here. Am I being detained? Yep. For what? Crossing the roadway. And I'm like, crossing the roadway? You fucking stupid. Crossing the road, it's against the law to cross the road. And then we went back and forth about that. And they said, well, you know, you can't cross the road when there's sidewalks available. And I'm like, that sounds more stupid than the first thing you said. I can't cross the road if there's sidewalks? Are you fucking kidding me? And I was like, I was crossing the road from over there to the sidewalk anyway. I said, besides, it's not against the law. So we went back and forth about that. And then I spit my gum out on the street, and they were going to charge me with that. I guess the Sarge told them not to, because spitting the gum out on the street is not illegal. So what they did was they charged me with fair ID, and the original crime was crossing the street. Or pedestrian. What they said to me was pedestrian in the roadway. There is no crime that is pedestrian in the roadway. They said it's a city ordinance. So I know what city ordinance is talking about. You can't cross the street when there's a crosswalk within, I don't know, 100 feet or something like that.
And there's not.
City ordinance. So anyway, so you already know how this is going.
Yeah.
The fair ID, I'm not sure if they're following that as a Class C misdemeanor or Class B. He said he was following it as a Class C, so I really don't know about that yet. So I would really like to know about that, but I'll find out eventually. So I will cover the cost for any calls that are made. So that's 100% covered by me. So you're probably the one I'll be calling.
All right.
For whatever reasons, and I will cover those costs. I will give you the cash for that. You know, immediately. I have that money. So maybe I was thinking you know, you let the guys know already?
Yeah.
Okay.
We got a bunch of people on standby.
Okay. I would say go ahead and just put that timer video out there, man. Let them know what happened. Now that you know what happened, let them know what happened. Let them know you talked to me while I'm in jail and what they're charging me with. They're charging me for crossing the street. Maybe put your video up there while I'm crossing the street or whatever you want to put up there. And just let them know I'm still in jail and, you know, and there you have it. Get them to start calling up here, flooding their fucking phones.
All right. Do you have? Have they given?
Good to go, man.
Have they given?
You been in jail before?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know it's all good. My wife gets worried because she thinks it's like American Me in here.
Yeah.
You know, you and I both know it ain't shit.
Yeah. Have they given you any idea when you're getting out?
Nah, you know they don't do that, man. He's just kind of in limbo until you go see the judge.
Yeah, well,
if it's Class C only, if it's Class C only, we'll go see the judge and they'll give me a court date and then they'll let me go. So if it's Class C only, I'll only be here probably for about, I don't know, probably anywhere from 4 to 8 hours.
All right.
That's the worst case scenario. And then of course if they're gonna charge me with a Class D, then I gotta get Magistrate and get a bond, and I'll go over to the jail and I'll just make a PR bond.
All right.
But in any case, when I get my phone back, I'll give you a holler. I might check in with you in a few hours or whatever. But other than that, I'm good to go, man.
Okay.
I would appreciate getting that tire video out there. I'd like to be here seeing them get the calls.
Okay, I'm not going to put the whole thing out. I'm not going to put the whole thing out because it's over an hour long. But I'll get the important stuff in there, and I'll put it out.
Yeah, the little, the little pieces.
Yeah.
And just remember, the situation is they detained me because I crossed that roadway for a city ordinance that doesn't exist. And they used that to try to get my ID. I would not give them my ID, so they're charging me with both of those.
Well, you have to be legally under arrest to ID, right?
Yeah, right. I mean, the ferret ID is bullshit as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
So,
well, the whole thing is bullshit. And if the judge they put you in front of has got any balls and is honest, he'll laugh at him. But you know how that goes.
Yeah. Let the guys know I was being completely polite. Up until I was, of course, they were charging me, and then, of course, I let them have it. But I wasn't too terribly bad.
All right, well, you had me worried.
Y'all can fuck off.
You had me worried when the ambulance showed up, but I figured that was for the wrist. You were doing that.
Yeah, I know what they did. Let me tell you this. In the video, so the officer was very upset about me, right? Because I wouldn't give him shit, and I told him he's an idiot. This, that, and the other after he arrested me. So he puts me in the car, no AC on. The truck wasn't running. So I'm like, hey, you need to turn on the AC. So he gets in and he turns the blower on. And he says, there you go, it's on. He was doing that for the fucking camera. He didn't even start the car. And I'm like, hey man, you need to start the car. What the fuck's wrong with you? It is started. And he's like, oh no, the AC's on, sir. In a sarcastic voice. I'm like, dude, you don't even have the keys in the fucking ignition. What's wrong with you, man? Quit playing your fucking game. So he gets in and he turns the truck on. Well, all the vents are closed in the back. But he refuses to open up the fucking vents. So that's when I told him, you know what, I'm feeling faint. I feel like I'm going to pass out. I think the heat is getting to me. I'm diabetic. I think my sugar's dropping, blah, 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 blah. It's too hot back here. And, I'm sweating profusely. If you want EMS, sir, absolutely call him. So then he went back there and he opened up the vents eventually. So he was trying to hotbox it. Fucking hot back there.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's save you.
Happened. And then when EMS got there, I was just like, I'm feeling better now since he opened up the AC.
Yeah.
So I don't need to see because I didn't want to be there even longer.
All right. Well, let's save you some money and get off the line, okay?
All right, man. Do me a favor.
Yeah.
Take this number down.
Okay.